What's up, guys? Jordan from Condo here. Just want to do a quick market update here for Toronto condos. Let's talk about price action and where prices are and where they're headed. So the first thing I want to talk about is just this is the average price for a condo in Toronto every month going back to whenever, 96. So August of this year, average condo price in Toronto, $720,000. You can see sort of mid-COVID, we bottomed out December and January, which was the best time to buy a condo, obviously, 625,000. And then the pre-COVID high, the absolute peak of our market prior to COVID was February. And you're seeing 723,000 as the average. So the average price is showing us that we're at the same price that we were in February of last year, but direct comparables and looking at specific units is showing us a very different picture. And I'm going to show you some comps to kind of illustrate what I'm talking about. Average is great when you're analyzing the long-term trend of a market. Like if you want to look 10, 20 years, what's happened in a market, average price is great. But the problem with a short-term outlook is it's not as accurate as looking at specific buildings, specific comps, because it doesn't take into account our smaller units selling larger units, that kind of thing, right? So let's get into some specific examples rather than looking at average. So first one I want to talk about, Harbor Plaza here. It's a unit here, 2509. It's a 528 square foot, one bedroom without parking. Okay, this one just sold for $775,000. So that puts it at 528, right? Yeah, 528. 1468 per square foot. So where were these units trading in COVID and pre-COVID? So let's pull up one bedroom history here for Harbor Plaza. You got 2509 here, selling in 3 days for 775. And let's find another 09. You got 1609 selling in August for 750. Okay, so back in June, you have 3809, so on a higher floor, selling for 720. Same exact layout, 528 square feet, sold for 720. This unit just sold for 775. Let's go back a little bit further. You have 3309 selling in May for 685. Again, we're at 775 today. All right, next up we have Access Condos. So if you're not familiar with the building, it's a new building, Wood and Church. All right, right there. We've got I think I have the floor plan here. Yeah, 468 square feet, one bedroom, no parking. This one sold for 630,000, putting it at just under $1,350 per square foot. The penthouse, which is the same model, sold on the 38th floor back in February of this year for $588. See if we can grab anything prior to that. Building's only 2 years old, so we might not have a lot of action here. No, but we've got June of this year for 573 and June of this year for 563. And today we're at 630. Next up here, we have a unit in Humber Bay that just recently sold. This is a 2+ den, 840 square feet. It obviously has the lake view, and this one sold for $1.15 million all the way over in Humber Bay. 840 square feet, so $1,370 a foot in Humber Bay. Just absolutely incredible. Pre-COVID, you were not getting values like that in Humber Bay for a lake view. Obviously, the shift has been people looking for more parkland. So, the green space near Humber Bay and the water, obviously, Humber Bay is one of the condo markets that's been doing quite well through COVID, and especially those lake views, but still 840 square feet for $1.15 million is not something we've ever seen before in Humber Bay. Moving on, we have 10 York here. So 10 York, obviously, great location by Tridel, newer building. We've got this listing here. I think I have the floor plan. Yeah. So this one is, I'll have to double check on square footage. I'm sure it's somewhere in my tweets. Square footage on this unit is 830 square feet. So 830 square foot unit sold for $1.28 million just recently. 30, 1542 per square foot resale. Again, just not something we were seeing in 10 York pre-COVID, not even close. So let's go back in time here. So we will look for another '05 back in time here. So what do we have? We have 3505 selling December of last year, so the bottom of the market for $1,008,000. So we're up almost $300,000 from then. What else do we have? I'm sure we have another one. Here we go. Back in March of 2020, we had 4505 sell for $1,050,000. So, since March, we're up over $200,000. Just incredible. So, like I said, this is why I'm weary about using averages when it comes to short-term trends, because comps tell a much different story. Let's go to 1080 Bay. Yeah, so that we got this one, 512 square feet, no parking, sold for $830,000, so $1,621 per square foot. Now, Condos has always had some of the highest resale values in town, certainly in the area. But you can see here, just back in April, you could have scooped up 3108 for $755,000. So we're up $70K from there. What else we have here? We got another 08, 1608. Yeah, so 1608, is that the same model? Yes, it is. So 1608 sold for $700,000 back in February, $830K today. Any more 08s here? 08. 1208 for $690,000. Back in January of 2020, pre-COVID, 512 square feet, so $690, $830,000. Obviously, you've got a floor premium here too. You're on a higher floor. But like I said, you want to be careful about using averages. Obviously, the comps are showing a different story, but it is I'm still seeing some good deals. So it is very dependent on building and neighborhoods. I'm still seeing some units you can pick up for about the same price as pre-COVID. So it's not to say all condo prices have run yet. The market is very fragmented. Here is a one-bedroom, 456 square feet that sold at 11 Charlotte for $643,000, putting it at $1,410 per square foot. Let's go to the building. So it's an 05. Let's find another 05. 1605. Sold back in March of this year for $585, $643 today. 1705 sold back in January, $580. Anything pre-COVID? No. All the way back in 2019. No. Oh, well, you guys get the ideas. So prices are up considerably depending on unit, depending on building, and depending on neighborhood. We're seeing all kinds of per square foot records breaking across the city. Months of inventory is still pretty tight, but rising. So we're still below 2 months of inventory, putting us in a seller's market, but it was closer to 1.2, 1.3 just in August and just in the spring. So it is interesting, but there isn't a lot of inventory out there. Certainly not a lot of good inventory. So I think we're going to continue to see prices rise in the short term, provided that we don't see a glut of inventory. I mean, the first week of September, we saw tons of listings, and then since then, it's really tapered off. And if I go back here through my history, just a quick update on the leasing market. So towards the end of summer, I guess when international students were coming back, we were seeing 30% of condos lease above asking price, which we haven't seen in years. It was an incredible market for landlords, and a lot of that inventory was absorbing. We're now down to about 15% of condos leasing above asking, which is still elevated from the pre-COVID norm of 8 to 10% of condos leasing above asking. So the condo market, the condo lease market is slowing, but still a landlord's market. And that's it. That's it for this video, guys. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, and I will see you guys next week.